Hi, this is Brent Rhymes, CEO of WolfePak Software. And in 2021, we're trying something new to improve communication with our customers. We're launching a weekly webcast called WolfePak Wednesdays on our YouTube channel. The purpose of WolfePak Wednesdays is to provide new information on WolfePak products and services, discuss the challenges that you're seeing out in the oil and gas industry, and even do a little product training. Some weeks we'll host a live Q&A session right after the release of a new webcast. We would love to hear from you. If you have any questions after viewing a webcast, or if you have suggestions for future discussion topics that you would like us to cover, please email them to wednesdays@wolfepak.com. And with that, we'll get started with this week's edition of WolfePak Wednesday. All right, well, this week on WolfePak Wednesdays, we're going to be covering WolfePak Anywhere, which is the next generation SaaS service for our WolfePak oil and gas accounting platform. And I have joining me today, Kristy Strickland. Kristy, why don't you do a quick introduction?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Brent. I'm Kristy Strickland. I've been with WolfePak for about 4.5 years and started out in our customer success group, helping our clients. And then about a year ago, I moved over to sales and enjoyed getting to meet all of our new potential clients. And now I'm back over in customer success to help us out.
Very good. You've been back in customer success for about a month. Is that right?
That is right.
All right. Well, welcome back. And in addition to all of that, you've been pretty instrumental in testing WolfePak Anywhere.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. It's in fact, I use it a lot just in my daily routine, testing things, taking a look at it because it is a lot easier to use.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, very good. Well, as far as what we want to cover during this week's webcast, it's really just the basics. We want to talk a little bit about what WolfePak Anywhere is, give you some reasons for upgrading to WolfePak Anywhere, and then wrap up by pointing you to some additional resources where you can learn more. So real quickly, what is WolfePak Anywhere? So WolfePak Anywhere is the next generation SaaS platform for our oil and gas accounting and ERP system. So a lot of times we'll say WolfePak ERP. We have some customers that have been with us for quite some time, and they kind of look at us funny saying, what do you mean ERP? So when we say ERP, what we're really talking about is WolfePak's oil and gas accounting system. And this is a brand new platform. It represents about 18 months worth of investment. And this is kind of the first release in this new platform. We have multiple releases planned. In fact, in a future webcast, I'm going to be joined by Ryan Laley, our Chief Technical Officer, and we're going to provide kind of a preview of some of the additional services that we're planning on coming out on the Anywhere platform. Those services include reporting and analytics, data access, enhanced performance, exchanging information, a way to automatically exchange information with third parties. A lot of the things that we covered during the past WolfePak user conferences, a lot of those features are now arriving and starting with this release of WolfePak Anywhere. What we really wanted to accomplish in this initial release was to remove any differences between running WolfePak on your local system or your local network and running WolfePak in the cloud. As those of you that are current cloud users, or those of you that have considered going to the cloud, you know that there are some fairly significant differences between WolfePak running in the cloud and WolfePak running on your local machine. And Kristy, you've been running WolfePak Anywhere now for several months and testing it. What would you say? Did we succeed? Are we delivering an on-prem or a local experience for WolfePak ERP via WolfePak Anywhere?
I would definitely agree with that statement. It does make it seem like you've got WolfePak right here on your desktop. The fact that I can just easily save files to my local machine or save it up in the cloud, I've got two options now, and all of it's just right there, very easy to get to.
Fantastic. Well, and we're going to take a look at some of that here in just a sec. But, as Kristy said, one of the design goals, in fact, the design goal for the initial release of Anywhere is to remove all those differences and to make it look and feel like you're running WolfePak on your local machine, even though you're running it within the cloud environment. Some of the notable changes that especially our current SaaS users will recognize: you can open up as many WolfePak windows as you like. It makes it super easy to get information from the cloud back down to your local machine. It automatically connects and configures with your printers. You can cut and paste information if you want to grab a value out of WolfePak and put it into Excel or put it into an email. It makes that process much easier. And then it's the first of many performance improvements that we're introducing in the product. In this case, it's primarily we're using a different class of cloud server on the back end that makes things a bit zippier. The technology that we're using to deliver the windows down to your local machine is quite a bit faster. So it's the first. It's not the only one. We have several different performance enhancements that we have planned for future releases, but it's our first step for really increasing the performance of WolfePak. But instead of talking about it, Christy, I thought maybe you could give us a quick tour.
Sure, I'd be glad to. Okay, so WolfePak Anywhere is a very quick install. Once you've signed up for it, you'll get an email from our IT group that lays out step-by-step guidelines on what you need to do. There's a Citrix receiver that you just install, and once you do that, you're given a web address that you'll go to with your specific login information. And so just real quick here on the home screen, this is where you can specify favorites. So you'll notice that on the apps, you'll be given Adobe Reader. You'll also be given Excel if you have analytics as part of your license group. You're also given Notepad and, of course, WolfePak. And clicking the little star will allow you to see those favorites just on the home screen. So it just reduces the number of clicks if you need to. But what I like about this is in the web application, you can access these particular applications. And so you can have it on your computer, you can have it on your mobile device, a tablet, anything like that. You just click one time and you'll be able to click on that particular icon to get into WolfePak Anywhere. And once you get into WolfePak Anywhere, the screen itself looks like you're on your local machine. It doesn't look like you're in a web browser. It doesn't look like you're doing anything else. So we're going to start this up. So you'll see your login information. This should look very familiar to you. And then you log into the company that you want to take a look at. Okay, so there is my web browser. So I could minimize my web browser and see my WolfePak just there on my computer. So as you can see, it looks exactly like an on-prem license agreement. If I wanted to log into multiple companies at the same time, that was our number one reason why people didn't want to go to SaaS to begin with, is because you needed to be able sometimes to look at multiple companies, especially if you've got an operating company and then maybe a sister company that you need to look through. So I could come in here and I could look at some of my other companies. So I went into Wingle first, and maybe I'll go into the WinAug company. Okay, so now you can see that on your computer screen, you can have multiple windows very easily, and you can run your task in those companies as you need to. And so some of the other things that I would just point out to you is, anytime you're doing a ledger listing, for an example, I'll just do a payable listing real fast. I'm going to go into an Excel document. It will ask you if you want that online application to be able to see those other files. And so I'm going to permit all access for this particular thing. Here is where you can see, I can save it to my local drive, or I can save it up there in the cloud. So if I click on my local drive, it'll take me to that local drive. I can put it in my WolfePak folder. So the SaaS clients, that should look familiar to you. We've done that before. I don't have to, but I can put it in that local drive there. Save. And if I want to open up that Excel document, I can, specifically from this window. So we'll give it a second for it to create that. So open the file now. I can say yes. Then I can open up that Excel file, pops up on my other screen here. And so it opens up into Excel. It saves that particular location into your recently opened items. So if I were to go into our WolfePak Anywhere and open up Excel from here, then I would be able to see those files in my recent open items list. So there's a lot of good things that we have available to us here in WolfePak Anywhere.
So, Christy, what about, I know one of the complaints that we got in the past was things like setting up printers, setting up scanners. What does Anywhere help and, our users in that capacity?
That's a great question. So for your printers, because it's there on your local, your printers should just work. You wouldn't have to have a third-party application to help you with that like you did in the SaaS environment. If you have a scanner attached to your computer, you still need that TS Scan third-party app to help it recognize that your scanner is there. But your printer should be good to go.
Good deal. And as long as you have TS Scan, your local scanner should work as well.
Yes.
Very cool. Okay. Well, hey, thanks for the test drive. I think we may come back to that here in just a second. So in addition, to making the user experience virtually the same between running WolfePak Local and running WolfePak on WolfePak Anywhere, the other thing that we have invested, and are continuing to invest a lot in is security. WolfePak Anywhere runs within the WolfePak Cloud, which is a SOC 1 Type 2 certified environment, but the encryption of your connection between your local machine and the Anywhere environment has been upgraded. The Anywhere technology embeds technology from a company called Citrix, and they have a much higher degree of encryption and security than the existing SaaS environment. And then there's a couple of new features with WolfePak Anywhere. The first one is support for two-factor authentication. And for some of you, you'll know exactly what that is, and other folks are probably scratching their heads saying, what exactly is two-factor authentication? It's really simple. If you use Twitter, if you use Facebook, most likely your bank uses it, but it's essentially where you link your cell phone to your WolfePak Anywhere account. And whenever you're logging into WolfePak Anywhere from an unrecognized device, WolfePak Anywhere will send your cell phone, I think it's a 6-digit code, and then you have to enter that code in to verify that it's you attempting to log on. Like I said, most likely your bank uses this, credit card sites use this, social media sites use this, but it's just a good practice to try to authenticate the person that's attempting to log in is actually you, or at least they have your cell phone. The second thing are password resets. So again, if you're like me, occasionally you forget your password. In the past, you would have to contact WolfePak support, open up a support ticket, and then have us get back to you with the new password. We now have a self-service password available for our users. And in fact, Christy, why don't you take us through those features?
Okay, I can do that. Let me share my screen again. I've got it set up because if you're like me, I forget my password too sometimes. So when you first log into our WolfePak Anywhere setting, I can click on that account that I've been assigned. And this is where you would enter in your password. If you don't remember your password, or if it's not the one that you thought you remembered, you can just simply click on Forget My Password. Because remember, before, like Brent said, you would have to call the support or email us and make sure we have all of your information, and then we send in a request ticket to have that password reset. And now you can do it together. You can do it for yourself. So you put in the CAPTCHA information, click on Next, and it does ask you, I can run you through this. I think that's a 5. NQ maybe. And then the next piece of that is to enter the cell phone number. Once you enter in that cell phone number, it will send you a 6-digit code, and it happens instantaneously, maybe a 10-second delay, but you've got that capability to do it yourself now.
Very good. Excellent. All right. Well, that's great, Christy. That looks like a much easier way to reset passwords. What about setting up two-factor authentication?
Yeah. So when you put in that capture information, the next step is to put in your cell phone number. And when you click on the text button, just within a matter of seconds, you'll get a text message that gives you that verification code that you would just then type in and then click on next. Very simple.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thank you. I appreciate it once again. So in addition to the improved security, the improved user experience, of course, you get all the advantages of running in our cloud environment. And that includes 24/7 availability. It includes automatic backups. We perform 3 backups during the day and then a 4th backup at night that actually sends your backup off to a secured location outside of the WolfePak Anywhere environment. And all of the administration is on us. We're responsible for making sure that your instance of WolfePak is upgraded, that it's running on the latest and greatest version, that all of the security patches have been applied, and all that kind of good stuff. So really that's it in terms of our review this week of WolfePak Anywhere. We will, I guess the next question, Christy, is where can folks go to learn more about WolfePak Anywhere?
Well, they can certainly call and we can walk them through that. And then, of course, our website. Our website has quite a few videos that have already been put together in order to help you through this process. How to reset your passcode, how to download files. So if you want to look at more specific videos, those are available on our website.
Very good. And also now on our YouTube channel. So if
yes.
Same channel that we'll be posting out WolfePak Wednesdays too. So, well, very good. Well, thank you so much, Christy. I really appreciate you joining us this week. And for all of you that are tuning in, thank you so much. If you're watching us on Wednesday, May the 12th, we're going to turn this over to a live Q&A session, which we will append to this video and repost to the YouTube channel. We'll be following up on how to submit questions. But for everybody else, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to move into the live Q&A portion of this. Appreciate your patience at the top while we were getting our technical difficulties figured out. So we've got a couple of questions coming in right now. One of them was, where do you go in order to access Anywhere? And I know that we cover that in some of our videos, but I was curious, Christy, if you could just kind of talk us through like how you get the icon, Christy or Jeremy, and how they get logged in. Oh, I'm going to unmute you, Christy.
Well, Teresa, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Well,
there's
quite a few. So first off, thank you everybody for joining the session. Obviously, every time that you try something new, there's always a couple of bumps the first time, but really appreciate everybody joining. And I think that there's a couple of questions out there. There's a few questions about pricing. So there is new pricing for WolfePak Anywhere. The best thing to do is to reach out to sales@wolfepak.com, and that'll get routed to your sales rep. We do have programs. We are offering a upgrade program for existing SaaS users, for example. We have programs for customers that have been on-prem customers for quite some time, a customer loyalty program, if you will. And really just the best way to get pricing information is to contact WolfePak Sales, and they can put together a quote for you. As far as actually getting WolfePak Anywhere itself, so it is a migration. It is a separate system. So if you're running on-prem, essentially we have to take a backup of your on-prem system and get that migrated up to the WolfePak WolfePak Cloud. We have a team of folks that can assist you with that. And then you'll be given an introductory email on how to set it up. And in fact, Christy put together a pretty cool video that we have posted out to the website, and I believe it's on the YouTube channel as well, on how you walk through the setup. But it's an extremely easy setup process. That was one of the things that we were trying to accomplish by making this investment in the new system, is to make it really easy to get set up on the system. If you're an existing SaaS customer, you're on our current SaaS environment, again, we will need you to migrate you over to the WolfePak Anywhere system. Super simple in that case, because we're going from one part of the WolfePak cloud to the Anywhere part of the WolfePak cloud. But again, the first step is to reach out to your sales rep if you know them, and if you don't know who your current sales rep is, then sales@wolfepak.com will get you there. And Christy, are you back on audio?
I am. Can you hear me
All
now?
right. Awesome.
Good deal. So the only thing I'd add to that, Brent, is that once the sales order is taken care of, our IT group will migrate that data, just like Brent says, but an email will go out, just like if you were a SaaS client, but an email will go out with specific instructions. And so somebody asks where you go to get that. There is a web address that you would go to install a Citrix receiver, and that would be a specific web address that you would go to each time to get to your icon.
All right, and so we have another interesting question is, we talked about Excel a little, and we've got a question in regards to how does analytics, or how do we work with analytics in WolfePak Anywhere?
That's also a good question, because basically it's going to act the same way as you would have on your local. So in WolfePak, if you go into General Ledger or Revenue Billing or First Purchaser, for example, you can go to that Analytics menu, open up your particular document that you want to make adjustments in, and it opens up the Excel spreadsheet within the application, and you need to work from there. But it looks like you've got Excel open just on your local machine.
And then another question, this is a good question. What if you lose your internet connectivity? Are they just down? The question was, if someone like a backhoe cuts through your fiber line, are you down for weeks, or how does that work? I don't know if we need.
So definitely internet is the main component of that. And so we do, on our side, we have rollover stations all over the United States, and so if one area is affected, then we just roll over to the redundant servers, and you're back online. If it happens on your side, then obviously we would need to make sure that the internet is back up and running for you to have access to WolfePak Anywhere.
Yeah, and thank you, Chris. I'd like to add on a little bit to that. I mean, obviously, if your internet connection is severed to your office, you've got lots of issues. You've got, internet, obviously, browser connectivity issues, you've got email issues. And most likely, either your provider or your IT department, or in some cases, for those of you that contract with us to do your IT, we're going to be providing some sort of an alternative way to get to the internet. The one thing that I would say is that the technology that WolfePak Anywhere uses is much more efficient at bandwidth. So it's going to be able to perform much better over a slower potential backup connection. I've even ran it over my cell phone hotspot connection, which I guess would be the ultimate failover if your office internet connection was severed. So obviously we can't, if you lose internet to your office, you got lots of issues to deal with, but we've made it at least as resilient as we can in terms of supporting slower speed connections.
Well, and we are going to try to keep all of our WolfePak Wednesdays to about 30 minutes, and we'll take a couple more questions. I did want to let you know that we are going to have a kind of a roadmap discussion for our next week's WolfePak Wednesday, and we'll get a a calendar of topics published out. And so welcome your feedback again at Wednesdays@wolfpack.com. I thought this was a really good question in terms of, I guess, just working within WolfePak. Will they be able to delete unwanted companies in WolfePak or companies that have been created by mistake in this environment?
So there is a way to do that, and we can get some instructions to those clients that want to, but we also have our IT group that can do that for you. So it just kind of depends on what you feel comfortable with.
And then I'm just ask. Go ahead.
And Teresa, I see a question that was posted out there about the ability for employees to see their pay stub. So we don't have that capability in this initial release, but be sure and tune in next week. I'm going to be talking with Ryan Laley. We're going to be talking through the roadmap for the next 12 months, and most of these products are either in late stage development. In one case, it's in beta testing. We're going to be talking through the WolfePak Intelligence product that we're coming out for the Anywhere platform, and WolfePak Exchange. And really with WolfePak Exchange, that's where we would address the ability to share information securely with third parties. So that might be of interest to that person that asked the question.
Okay, so for our last question, it is if they're using WolfePak Anywhere at home, would the general ledger update the information to the local WolfePak at the office? I think that's a good time to kind of talk about like the structure and how it all works. You can take that.
Okay. So if you've got WolfePak Anywhere at home and you've got WolfePak on the local machine at the office, that's really two different types of licenses. So WolfePak Anywhere is up in the cloud, and so the benefit of that is it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're at home on your iPad or your Android tablet, or whether you're in the office connecting to it, you've got the same data all the time. So on-prem license would mean that if you've got the server there in your office and y'all are working from home, you probably have some sort of an RDP connection to go to that, and so that's not going to be compatible to an iPad or an Android type device. And so that's two different types of licenses. WolfePak Anywhere would allow you to basically take WolfePak anywhere you go and update the same data set.
Yeah, I would say that most, folks that are going to be migrating to Anywhere, that's going to be their primary system, and it doesn't matter, where you access it. I'm actually broadcasting from Dallas today, and I can use Anywhere and pop into our local books that we use to run the company, and just as if I was in the Abilene office or back at the ranch, literally.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for our first WolfePak Wednesday, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.
See you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.